Driving environments. We're going to start with the urban driving environments. Have many more signs, signals, and pavement markings to help the road users mix safely, sharing the roads with bicyclists. With bicyclists, motorcyclists, pedestrians, skateboarders, ride-hauling vehicles, transit buses, taxi cabs. The country rural driving. The roads in rural environments have speeds that are higher and roads that are less forgiving. Risk factors of rural driving: reduced visibility, limited lines of sight, less traction, possibility of unexpected vehicles suddenly appearing around a curve. Mountain and high altitude driving: the higher you go, the less oxygen in the air. The internal combustion engines mix fuel with oxygen to create power, so less oxygen results in less power and trouble getting up steep hills. To prevent problems from high altitude, you want to make sure that you keep well hydrated by drinking plenty of fluids. In desert driving, when you're driving in other hot and dry environments, you want to consider limiting your desert travel to early morning or evening when temperatures are lower. Check your cooling systems, fluids, and hoses before any journey. Check your tire pressure in the morning or when the tires are cold. Carry at least 5 gallons of drinking water in plastic containers. Regularly monitoring your vehicle's engine temperature gauge. If your vehicle is riding hard, move to a safe off-road position to allow the tires to cool. Check the engine oil each time you fuel your vehicle. Temporary environment work zones. Ongoing construction, tree trimming, grass cutting, and other types of work can be protected in a temporary work zone. Who is most at risk of being hurt or killed in work zones? The drivers or the workers?
The workers.
People driving through work zones, approximately 1,000 people die each year, and over 40,000 people are injured each year in work zone crashes. But road workers are still at a very high risk. Too many drivers do not give or devote enough attention to temporary work zones. And this is a video. Another temporary environment is when an emergency vehicle, tire changing company, or law enforcement is stopped alongside the road. Because such professional pedestrians are at such high risk of being struck by an approaching vehicle, every state now requires that approaching drivers take specific actions to help reduce the risk to emergency personnel. Slow down or move over laws. So there was your answer. It says every state now is supposed to have that move over law. Warn drivers behind you of your change of speed by quickly tapping your brake pedal. Emergency vehicles on the right side, safely move at least 1 lane to the left. If it is unsafe, slow down to 10 to 20 miles below the posted speed limit. And that's the Kansas law. So that way you get over to your right side if you come upon those emergency workers. Emergency vehicles on the left side, safely move at least 1 lane to the right. If it's unsafe, slow down 10 to 20 miles below the posted speed limit. For example, which of these 6 situations would be appropriate and responsible to use a slow down and move over technique? The construction worker at the top you probably wouldn't want to move over
Well,
because you'd
no.
be getting into your lane, but you would need to slow down. And the trucker on the right, for sure you'd, get over if you can, if it's safe to do so. If not, slow down, so if he happens to hop out of there, you'd be out of the way. The bus up top, of course, you'd want to slow, it looks like it's being towed. You'd want to slow down and get over, get out of that guy's way. And then this railroad guy down there, or the fire truck down there in the flood, I don't even know what's going on there. So you'd probably want to slow down for sure before you pass them. Probably all of them, yeah. So, move over for who? The page 9 features an exercise called move over for who. So that's what that was all about. So, anyway, I'm so glad that I looked at that ahead of time. So, the answers would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, what was the guy on the flooded guy? That was 4.
You're gonna move over for 1,
Right,
just slow down.
right.
What's the answer?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You move over for all 6?
Yep. Move over or slow down, yeah. All right. Okay, did you put a mark in each box? The 1? Okay. Actually, some roadside workers experience day to day. This video is courtesy of AAA.
If you've ever been stranded on the side of the road, then you know what AAA Minneapolis' service vehicles experienced 108,000 times last year. The move over law requires drivers to either move over a lane or slow down every time you see a stopped emergency service or towing vehicle. We're here to help you. Please return the favor. If you cannot move over, at least slow down. Please drive smart, drive safe. A traffic safety message from AAA's Minneapolis Auto Club Foundation for Safety.
So the Kansas Move Over Law was signed into effect in May of 2000 and is known to many as the Goodhart Law. It is named after Master Trooper Dean Goodhart, who served with the Kansas Highway Patrol from 1972 until his death in 1995. On September 6, 1995, Master Trooper Dean Goodhart was struck and killed in the line of duty while conducting a walk-around safety inspection of a semi-truck on westbound Interstate 70 near Colby, Kansas. The Goodhart Law was amended in 2006 to incorporate all emergency personnel and road crews when flashing lights are visible. Next time it might be you stopped on the side of the road with a flat tire along a 65 mile per hour road. How vulnerable would you feel? How concerned would you be about your occupants, such as your spouse, your children, your grandchildren? Moving over does not necessarily mean changing lanes. It can mean that. Not always is it possible or practical to change lanes. However, moving over could mean adjusting position within a single lane as to give the most space to the roadside scene at a reduced speed. Driving conditions. Most of our driving is during clear and dry conditions with an excellent visibility, but roads aren't always clear and dry. And here is a video to show us how dangerous it can be.
Wow. That's just from the rain.
Yep.
We're all going way too fast.
Yep.
So, because the tire's traction decreased greatly on surfaces such as pavement covered in water, ice, or snow, drivers must slow down to regain the traction they normally enjoy in dry conditions. You do not control the condition of the road surface, but you do control your response to the road surface condition, and that is why you always adjust your speed to be appropriate for the road surface. You must recognize conditions that may cause changes in traction, which in turn require changing your speed. Can you think of a vehicle technology that could help maintain traction on slick surfaces? Is that car with the wiggly lines?
Yeah.
Is that, yeah. Yeah, traction control, thank you. You guys are good. Traction control and stability control systems. Yay, you guys are so smart. Sensors detect when the vehicle rotates around its center axis. Electronic stability control is designed to stabilize the vehicle. ESC works quickly, far faster than any driver could. Here is some more of the stability control systems that found to be quite effective in preventing fatal crashes. According to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, it cuts the risk of fatal crashes by about 20%. Of crashes involving multiple vehicles, by about 50% in crashes involving a single vehicle. Plus, it has been shown to reduce the risk of a fatal single vehicle rollover crashes by 70% for both cars and SUVs. Just watch this video.
The stability control system will automatically apply brakes to individual wheels to help bring both ends of the vehicle back in line and follow the driver's intended steering path. There is a warning light on the vehicle dash associated with activation of the traction and stability control systems. When the vehicle is first started, the traction control system warning lights will come on. After a few seconds of driving, the warning lights should go off. If they do not, this could indicate a problem. You should contact your dealer or a mechanic to have it checked. Never ignore vehicle warning lights. Please read your manual to see and understand all warnings associated with the traction and stability control functions. I recommend you leave both the traction control and stability control systems on at all times.
It says bonus here, understeer is when a vehicle's front tires are pointed left or right, but the vehicle continues straight. The car is plowing. When you oversteer, when a vehicle's back end wants to trade places with the vehicle's front end. Understeer and oversteer are not driver actions, they are vehicle behaviors. Strategies when driving in the rain and other conditions when the road surfaces are wet. You want to inspect your vehicle's windshield wiper blades, apply a glass treatment product to your windows to help increase your ability to see when driving in the rain. Use your low beam headlights anytime your vehicle is in motion. Be cautious during the first few minutes of rainfall, especially after a long dry period in the warm weather months because road surfaces can be extra slippery. Over time, pavement surfaces collect environmental dust, fluid droplets from vehicles, and rubber dust from tires. When mixed with water, when the rain begins falling, these substances become extremely slick. Some traffic safety professionals refer to this mixture as summer ice. Stay alert for pedestrians who may act carelessly to avoid being rained on. After you drive in the rain, before you need your brakes to slow down or stop, gently squeeze them on and off a couple of times. This helps sweep water away from the brakes so they will work normally. Driving at night, fortunately today's headlights are pretty good. Traditional headlights are limited to projecting light directly ahead of a vehicle at all times. Always extending only in a straight line from the vehicle. Always the same amount of light, always at the same height above the road, and it means that when you turn there is less light projected onto and through the turn. So that's what that adaptive headlights are good for. There we go, see, look how smart I am. So adaptive headlights and automatic high beam headlights are in this video.
Adaptive headlights help drivers see better on dark, curved roads. The active lights pivot in the direction of travel when a driver steers around curves or corners. The headlights adjust based on steering wheel movement. and possibly the vehicle's speed to illuminate the road ahead.
So veritable headlight protection system, this system protects different headlight beam patterns as the driver encounters different situations such as intersections, city driving, country driving, driving on an expressway. Some systems adjust the headlight beam's height so that it remains level as the vehicle pitches forward and back when the driver brakes or accelerates. The message projecting headlights, these headlamps are capable of projecting information onto the road for the driver to see. Example one, if driving through a work zone, 2 lines of light can be projected to show the width of the car and to guide you not to drive too close to either side of the roadway. Example two, when driving at night and the snow is immediately ahead on your route and a large snowflake is projected on the road to help you inform you that your road conditions are changing. To prevent blinding drivers of oncoming vehicles, some systems can dim one portion of headlight bulbs while the other bulb stays fully lit for maximum vision for the driver. Automatic high beam headlights are not a new idea. Cadillac released an automatic system in 1938 called Electronic Eye. Packard cars in the early 1930s had 3 levels of headlight beams: city driving, and country passing. I didn't know any of that. So we're going to read the road. What is going on here? Here we go. What's going on?
You got a bus stop.
Yeah, there's a bus on the right. No surprise that pedestrians will be walking around and in the road. There's a bus stop on the left, so that means there'll be even more pedestrian traffic around.
We don't see anything.
The road is wet, so you have less traction. I probably should start that up. There we go. Plus you're driving downhill, so if you have to brake, it will take you longer to slow down. Basically, this is a nightmare waiting to happen. Is there anything else going on that we should be reading?
There's a pedestrian right in the middle of the street.
What can we anticipate might happen next?
People walking out of the bus, going up.
Yeah, pedestrians could step out in front of you at any second. The
I'm
bus on
gonna
the right
miss my
might pull out in
bus.
front of you. The light ahead could turn yellow at any second.
There's an emergency vehicle ahead.
How should we, yep, there's a little ambulance right over there. How should we respond to reduce the risk?
Slow down.
Slow down. You need lots of time and space to respond here if you need to. Plus this will help overcome the low traction road that you are on, so your braking distances won't be as long. Be ready for pedestrians to enter your path at any second. They may be in a hurry or they may be using umbrellas, which could block their view of you completely. Best to assume that none of them even see you. Keep as much space between you and any pedestrians as possible. Be ready for that bus to pull back out into traffic. In fact, see the left rear of the bus? It looks like it has its left turn indicator is already on. Or maybe it's not a turn indicator, but a brake light with the right one burned out. You just don't know. Chapter assessment. To close out this chapter, we'll take a short chapter assessment in page 9 of your workbook. Please fill in the correct responses. What color pavement markings is used for bicycle lanes? A, red, blue, green, purple. The top contributing factor in intersection crashes is misjudging a gap or another vehicle's speed, maneuvering illegally, incorrectly assuming another road user's action, and not paying attention to the blocked line of sight.
D.
The goal of communication is to prevent blank and to help other road users know what you blank to do. Change care, conflict intend, controversy hoped, curiosity forgot.
B.
B. And 4, or what are we on? Yeah. 4, a green traffic signal means go. All other road users must yield to the right of way to you. B, drivers from all directions must stop for you. You have illegal permission to enter an intersection if it's safe. The signal will soon turn yellow, so you should move quickly. C. Great job. Thanks. 5, A yield sign is a triangular and features what color?
Red
Red and white? No, it says yellow background with black information. A yield sign.
A.
A. All right, that's the end of the chapter, thank heaven. That was tough.
To go through.
Yeah,
Should take 30
we need to
minutes.
practice this more, or I need to practice this. Yeah, so what do we do, go here?
Yeah,
X
take
out?
out of it, and then on load 3, or load 4.
I'll let you out. Thank you, Joy.
Good job, Alicia.
I can do another one later, but let me.
Okay, take a break. Let's see, we're
And
at,
you guys are bored to death?
I'm so bored. I'm sorry, I'm trying to pay attention, but like my brain is just like.
Yeah, you got that ADHD
can you imagine,
stuff.
this used to be an 8-hour class?
I think I did it when it was an 8-hour class, and I think I was complaining about the same thing then.
Yeah,
They gotta make it more interactive.
I know, there really isn't much more to it than that, sorry. We'll fly through the, and eight is really short, so,
You just get popcorn in your pocket, and you see it was dozy, just eat it at us.
how about nickels? I'll throw nickels
Hey,
at
that's
you.
all right.
All right, let's go with 4, improving vision and perception. Of course, we're gonna start with the chapter assessment, and that's just where you answer them. First question is, scientists estimate humans have between blank and blank senses. 1 in 5, 8 and 12, 14 and 33, or 40 and 54? 14 and 33. 2, maintaining a visual speed while driving means searching ahead 2 to 3 seconds, 5 to 6 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which of the following are considered vulnerable road users? Truck and bus drivers, construction equipment operators, railroad engineers, pedestrians, and bicyclists? D, delta. Visibility. All right, clear vision is important. The driving process loop. The sequence drivers use to gather, filter, and act on information from traffic environment. On page 10 of your student workbook, at the top right-hand side, you answer what P, D, and A are. Driving process loop is, first one is perceive, P equals perceive. Everything in traffic, searching 20 to 30 seconds ahead, your intended path of travel, being aware of the traction on the road, identifying an alternate path of travel 12 to 15 seconds ahead. Step 2 is the driving process is decide, anticipating the possible actions of other road users, assessing the consequences, determining the best course of action, and 3A is act. Changing speed by decelerating, braking, or accelerating, adjusting position or direction by changing lanes or turning, communicating with other users. Drivers use this system non-stop. We do it 1,000 times every minute. So what do you see in this image? A vase or an urn? 2 faces, nose to nose, or an urn?
I see all of them.
Yeah, depending on how you perceive this image, the answer could be yes, even in the first step of the driving loop process. Perceiving different people can perceive, perceiving. Different people can perceive different things in the same situation. This one's a fun one. Optical illusion. Sometimes our eyes can be tricked. For example, please count the number of black dots you see in and around the grid, which is kind of impossible because depending on where you look at. When your eyes move around, oops, and now this was another fun one. Another example of this image, which appears to be rotating counterclockwise, but it's not actually moving. It's your eyes that are causing it to seem as it's moving. So what we perceive as a moving grid is not actually moving. That one kind of hurts your eyes after a while. Would it help if we shut these 2 lights off? Can you see the screen better? I think it would help. Let's try shutting that one off anyway.
If you look straight ahead into the center, it doesn't seem like it's
Yeah,
rotating.
If you look straight ahead in the center,
In the
does
center,
it
it
move?
won't rotate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of stops
Or
it.
the edges, but towards the middle of it,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
side of it.
All right, so not only can our eyes be tricked, but they can be missing things. One reason for this is related to the basic construction of the eye. On page 11 of your student workbook with the plus sign on the left and the motorcycle on the right, Got it right here? Hold your workbook with your right hand, arm extended, cover your left eye, and stare at the plus sign with your right eye.
I can't do this one.
Now slowly move the workbook towards you while still staring at the plus sign with your right eye.
Bike disappears.
Yeah, at some point the motorcycle disappears, and as you move your workbook away again, the motorcycle reappears. Now let's use the other eye. Hold your workbook with your left hand. You can do this one, Michelle. Arm extended, cover your right eye with your right hand and stare at the motorcycle with your left eye. Move your workbook slowly towards you, still staring at the motorcycle with your left eye, and at some point the plus sign disappears. Same thing on that side. Have fun with that. You have a blind spot in each of your eyes. In your eye, there's a hole in the sheet of nerves where the optic nerve enters. There are no cells detecting light there. This is your own personal blind spot. The interesting part of it is that your brain automatically fills in that blind spot. For example, when the motorcycle disappeared, your brain filled in the blind spot with a green background color. Fortunately, these blind spots are small and generally do not cause trouble when driving. Vision problems a driver could experience are nearsightedness, farsightedness, cataracts, glaucoma, and macular degeneration. It's possible to experience some confusion or miss seeing things because of how our brain interprets what it sees. For example, what do you see here? A young woman or an old woman? There should be both. Actually, both a young woman and an old woman appear in this image. Typically, our brains identify one image first, but then perhaps with some help can see the other image. Can you see both?
What is it?
No, I see both.
I see only the daughter.
Okay, the young woman's chin is the old woman's nose. So you're looking from behind the young woman, and you see she's got a little hat on. And the young woman's ear is the old woman's eye. You see it?
Nope.
The necklace is the mouth. I see it now. Something
Oh, I see
The
it now.
necklace is the mouth, the choker is the mouth of the
Oh,
old
yeah, I
woman.
see it now. But now I just lost a daughter. I guess it's either one or the other with me today.
It's your eyes. All right, on page 10 of your student notebook where you'll see an area marked F's in the little box. How many F's do you see in this sentence? Please write your answer on the page 10 of your student notebook.
Not this one.
Yes. Ready?
You guys are way off.
How many F's did you see?
12.
Go back. I didn't finish it counting.
13.
13 was the last one.
Often people miss the F's in the word of. This could keep it, could be because it makes a V sound and it might be overlooked as the second letter sound. F's tend to be easier to detect and count when they are the first letter of the word when they're pronounced with the F. So 13 is the answer to that. Our eyes do funny things. I was looking, but I didn't see him coming. Looking versus seeing. I've been hit in the rear end while I was driving a bus by another car. How does that happen? I was looking versus seeing. At the top of page 10, right under our, there's a little box there. It says looking versus seeing. That's the answer for that. That's why instead of simply looking, we really should be seeing everything we should see. Here's another exercise about vision on page 10 of your student workbook. Next, you'll see the words next you will see a triangle on the screen and the words will appear in it. The words will appear very briefly. Write the words you see on the screen in your triangle on page 10 of your student workbook. Ready? Here we go. What did you see?
Don't have the hand that feeds you.
Did you catch the extra "the" in the triangle? Really said, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Many times the brain just completes a message, or it may even cancel anything that might be unnecessary, such as the extra "the" in the phrase. Sometimes that's okay and even useful, but other times we might miss something important. Seeing ahead, most of the time you drive straight up, eyes up, brain on. When you are looking straight ahead, your eyes still are able to detect some things to the sides. We call that peripheral vision, right. And it helps detect the movement to the sides and helps us get our sense of direction. Our central vision is a narrow cone of vision, allowing us to see fine detail. We rely on it for a lot of everyday tasks, such as to recognize faces, scan phones. Central vision allows us to see fine detail. When we read a traffic sign, we use our central vision to identify what is displayed on it and to get its meaning. Now, on page 10 of your student workbook, you'll see 4 coffee cups. Coffee being poured into a distributing system. Which of these coffee cups the coffee will make it to first? Anybody want to guess? The answer is C. If we use our central vision with its capacity for fine detail, we can see that the flow of coffee is blocked up in every other cup.
Wow.
It's got a line across that on the
That's
bottom.
amazing.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Kind of a puzzle, but interesting. Look ahead is a simple major key factor of driving, and visual lead can be described as a cone vision always extended out in front of you 20 to 30 seconds ahead. Looking 20 to 30 seconds ahead can give you time to analyze conditions and make any early adjustments to your speed or road condition before any real problems arise.
Many drivers don't search far enough ahead to detect potential hazards early. Instead, many drivers look only directly ahead of their vehicle. Looking far enough ahead allows you to establish a visual lead, which is a view of everything going on 20 to 30 seconds ahead of your vehicle. This gives you more time to identify problems and adjust your speed or position accordingly. When you're not looking ahead, even temporarily, you might miss seeing something critical. In fact, if you look away from the road for just 2 seconds, your chance of crashing doubles. 2 seconds may seem like a very short time, but when you and other road users are moving along, a lot of things could happen in 2 seconds. Here's an example of what looking away for 2 seconds really means. On the left, you'll see where the driver's eyes are directed, and on the right will be what happens ahead. Now, let's see some consequences of a driver looking away from a driving scene for just 2 seconds.